This is the A to Ö of Iceland, so try to sing along. This is the A to Ö of Iceland, what could possibly go wrong? I start my day with coffee, or coffee's what we say. I pour a little milk in and feed my horse some hay. I look out the window to see if there is soul. I eat my morgunmatur and sit down in my stól. This A is kind of awesome, no matter what you see. There's greater list than jöklar and vinir you can meet. Skål! So pack your töskur, Iceland has it all. Austur to vestur, just don't look for L. You don't even exist. This is the A to Ö of Iceland, so try to sing along. This is the A to Ö of Iceland, what could possibly go wrong? Our sundlegar are cozy, afklæðast all the way, but don't forget sundskýla before you go and play. Okay. You might see a torfbær or hike in Víðfjóðgarð, and you must say hi to Willi, because that is my dad? Pappi. And you can rent a bílaleigubíl. Enjoy the drive on Hringvegurinn. Be mindful of malarvegir, and don't track on the moss, it grows back so slow, like 70 years. This is the A to Ö of Iceland, so try to sing along. This is the A to Ö of Iceland, what could possibly go wrong? Since the up of Alda, the sheep has been around, vinaleg and gracious, every man's best friend. We cuddle them and klappa and then take all their ull. We wear them like the kappar, and they've always kept us full. This is the A to Ö of Iceland, so try to sing along. This is the A to Ö of Iceland, what could possibly go wrong? This is the A to Ö of Ísland, so reyndu að syngja með. This is the A to Ö of Ísland, now memorize this lag. You just sang the hardest karaoke song in the world. You speak Icelandic. You can even say plokkfiskur. You're almost an Icelander. Or almost. Seriously. It's a lot of paperwork. Just come and visit.
We have learned that it is not only the destination we travel to, but the people we travel with, and the people we meet along the way that truly make the journey worthwhile. Whether we explore close to home or travel to discover new cultures and different ways of life, we learn that it is our differences that unite us, that connect us, and that bring us closer together. We know that travel helps us find a deeper connection with ourselves, with nature, and with the people around us. Connections that make us human. We want you to live a life with no regrets. A life full of special moments that become the memories that tell your story and make you who you are. Our goal is to bring people together, to share adventures that feed the soul, and to travel with sustainability, wellness, and kindness in mind. We hope you never stop exploring. We promise we won't. Wells Grade Tours escort a group travel close to home and around the globe. We plan. You pack. No worries.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us this morning and joining us for our virtual spring travel show. Of course, we are very sad we can't host this in person. We really miss all of you so, so much. But the future is looking bright with the vaccines rolling out, and we're hoping we can get back on the road very, very soon. So we have lots of tours to share with you this morning. We've been very busy behind the scenes planning lots of future destinations for all of us to look forward to. Now, of course, our highest priority is always the safety of our clients, our team members, the suppliers, and those who reside in the communities that we visit. So we have implemented safety procedures that will be followed for the duration of your tour. And of course, things are still continuing to change, and we will be monitoring these procedures as we go, as the months go on. So if you ever have any questions about our procedures and what's happening, don't hesitate to call your local office for an update. We are offering as many small group tours as we possibly can. We know people are more comfortable at this time anyways, traveling in smaller groups. So just make sure to look for those smaller group icons, either Tour 15, Tour 25, or Tour 30. All of our tours, we do offer an activity level. So that's either activity level 1, 2, or 3. So we do just ask you, make sure to have a peek at that and make sure you can take part in all the activities that are planned for the tour. We recently mailed out, just last week actually, our new brochure, which is our Spring 2021 Experiences Quarterly Brochure. We unfortunately cannot print it at this time, so we are sending it just digitally by email. If you didn't receive it, please just make sure you let us know. We'll make sure you get a copy. There is travel savings in there valid until April 2nd. We offer departure points throughout British Columbia. Our 3 main regions are the BC Interior, the Lower Mainland, and Vancouver Island. We have different departure points in each of those areas, and they are up on our website, or you can ask the office, but we pick up throughout those communities. On almost all of our tours, we offer early booking discounts. We want to help you save as much money as you can. So the early bird really does get the worm. So the earlier you book, the more money you will save. We also offer a loyalty rewards program. So this is experience points. You earn points when you travel with us, and then you can redeem those points for a dollar amount. So the more you travel, the more money you will save. And then you also earn levels as you go. So we have bronze, silver, gold, diamond, and the 7 continents. We do keep all of your points in our system. So if you are ever curious about how many points you have, how many you've earned, or the level that you're at, just give your local office a call. And we do offer sell gift certificates, of course. So if you are ever looking, or people are asking you what you would like, and maybe you are like me and just want to get back out in the world and start traveling again. So we do sell gift certificates. We also want to try to help you win some money. So we do hold 2 contests every year. So this is our Facebook photo contest and also our most memorable moments contest. So this has started for 2021, will run till the end of the year. You do not have to have traveled within 2021. It can be from any tour you've taken with us over the years. And if you have a photo or a memory you would like to share, you just email it to myself and I post it for you, and then you're entered to win up to $300. Okay, so now let's get started with some of the exciting destinations we have planned. We're going to start right in our own backyard in beautiful British Columbia. So all of these tours are out for sale and for 2021. So first up, we have cruising the Lower Fraser River. So this will be in May. We are going to see the Fraser Valley from the water. This tour includes 3 cruises on the Fraser River. The first being a 2-hour jet boat excursion on the safari boat you see in the photo. And then we also have 2 cruises on the MV Native Paddle Wheeler. So one cruise will be from Fort Langley to New Westminster. And then the next day you'll be cruising from New Westminster to the mouth of the Fraser, west of Steveston. Next up, we have Vancouver Island Gardens. So this will be in May. So this is an interior departure. We are going to the island to explore 6 exquisite gardens. So we'll be going up close to see these colorful gardens and admire them in spring bloom. Of course, in the photo, as you see here, world famous Bouchard Gardens. So we will spend time there. And then we will also visit some smaller gems like Milner Gardens, Hately Castle, and Abkhazia Gardens. Next up, also in May, this is a Vancouver Island or Lower Mainland departure. It is the Sea to Sky Getaway. So we will bring you over, you have your first night at Harrison Hot Springs. So you have a night there to enjoy the hot springs. Then we will drive through the Fraser Canyon, stop at the Hell's Gate Air Tram, and drive the scenic Duffy Lake Road up into Whistler. And then we have 2 nights in Whistler at the Delta Whistler. Lots of time to enjoy the beautiful village. We'll ride the gondola and have a guided tour of the Audine Art Museum. Next up, we have Inside Passage and Skeena Train. This is going in June. For our interior clients, this departure is currently full, so it's a wait list only, but we do still have seats for our Vancouver Island clients. So we're going to explore the stunning North Coast by land and sea. This is a 500-kilometer journey. It's a 15-hour scenic voyage on the Inside Passage, and we will take the Northern Expedition from Port Hardy to Prince Rupert. In the Prince Rupert area, a huge highlight will be we have an all-day catamaran excursion to Kutsumatine, which is the grizzly sanctuary. Hundreds of grizzly bears come and we can actually see them feeding and walking along the shore beds. Just a fantastic experience. And then we will make our way home with Via Rail, so on the Skeena train. And this is a spectacular all-day journey from Prince Rupert back to Prince George. Next up in July, we have Manning Park. So Manning Park Provincial Park is along the Hope Princeton Highway number 3. The park was created in 1941 and named in memory of Ernest Callaway Manning. He was the Chief Forester of British Columbia from 1936 to 1941. So this tour will it's a 3-day tour with 2 nights at Manning Park Resort. We are going in late July, which is blossom time in Manning Park. So the Alpine Meadows will definitely be one of the highlights. We have a guided walking tour with a naturalist among the gorgeous wildflowers. Okay, next up, Haida Gwaii, one of Wells Grey Tour's all-time favorite destinations. If you can believe this, 2021 will be our 43rd year taking tours to the amazing Queen Charlotte Islands. So we have departures in July and August, and they are filling up very quickly. Haida Gwaii consists of more than 150 islands located off the north coast of BC. And the chain of islands is home to the Haida Nation. And I just have a quick video to show you. I've been fortunate enough to take this tour, and it truly is an absolutely magical place. We spend a whole afternoon at the Haida Heritage Center. There's lots of highlights. We have a Zodiac tour around Louise Island. There's even an optional flight out to Ninstance, which is the abandoned Haida village. And one of the highlights, as you saw in the video as well, we do have a fabulous traditional Haida feast with Roberta Olsen, who is a Haida member, and she invites us into her own home, and her grandchildren and her whole family serve us this meal. Okay, next up in August, so getting towards the end of summer, we have the South Thompson Inn. So this is a Vancouver Island focused tour for our Vancouver Island clients and the Lower Mainland. It's a lovely short getaway to the BC interior. It's a new tour we're offering. We have not spent 3 nights before at the South Thompson Inn. It's a delightful hotel, beautiful country setting on 55 acres overlooking the South Thompson River. So a lovely place to relax and unwind, and then lots of time to explore the sites. We will have a tour at the Wildlife Park. We'll visit 2 local wineries and have a locally guided historical tour of Kamloops. Okay, next up we have stunning Northwest British Columbia. So this is in August. There is so much to see and so many unique experiences in the northwest of BC. It is a circle tour, so we head north up the Alaska Highway, all the way up to the top of northern BC. We have 2 nights at the Northern Rockies Lodge before we make our way around, 2 nights at Dease Lake, and then we head south on the South Stewart Cassiar Highway. And we'll even head west on the Yellowhead into Prince Rupert, and in Prince Rupert board the ferry and ride the magnificent Inside Passage on the way home. One of the huge highlights, there's a lot of amazing sites along this route, but one of them will be the helicopter flight through the Grand Canyon of the Stikine River. So you have a choice, or you do a float plane trip over the colorful Mount Ediza volcano, which I'll just go back one slide and show you, is this magnificent photograph. It's gorgeous. Okay, next up in August, we have Bella Coola and Tweedsmuir Park. taking a small group, 25. Bella Coola is an isolated community on the central BC coast, surrounded by splendid mountain scenery. We will take the Northern Seawolf ferry from Port Hardy. It's a 10-hour journey on the Inside Passage. Once in Bella Coola, we have hired a local guide who is with us for the full 2 days to provide expert interpretation about the history, ecology, and the First Nations culture of the valley. And then I know a huge highlight will be we've hired chartered float planes to go through Tweedsmuir Park. And there are 3 flight options depending on your mobility. You have a choice, but we will be either flying over Hunland Falls, or you can land in the falls and hike around them, and also flying over the Monarch ice fields and the colorful Rainbow Range. Okay, next up in August, we have Fort Steele and the Kootenays. This is a Vancouver Island departure, or the Lower Mainland. So Fort Steele, it's a living history museum very similar to Barkerville. It's also themed around the gold rush. It has a train ride, carriage rides, a theater show, and interpreter guides. Lots of fun. We'll be staying 3 nights at the St. Eugene Resort near Cranbrook. You can see that resort there in the photograph. And then there's a wealth of other attractions in the Kootenays that we'll visit. We go to the Bavarian-themed town of Kimberley. We even have an overnight at Ainsworth Hot Springs, and we'll spend a day at the ghost town of Sandon. Okay, next up in the end of August is Victoria Whale Watching. So this is a BC Interior or Lower Mainland departure. This tour is a wonderful summer getaway for those who love the ocean and love whales. There are 3 cruises to view marine life. The first cruise will be on the Prince of Wales. So this is a whale-friendly boat with an onboard naturalist, and it's also equipped with hydrophones so you can hear the whales. Then we also will have a cruise. It's a 3-hour cruise around Race Rocks to view all the other marine life. And then our 3rd cruise will be on the Salish Dream. So we will get picked up at Butchart Gardens, and then this will take us across the Strait of Georgia and back to Vancouver. So lots of opportunity to be out on the water and seeing whales and marine life. Okay, next up in August, so this is a Vancouver Island departure, cruising Vancouver Island's west coast. So the best way to explore this rugged shoreline is by boat, and this tour features 2 boat cruises. The first on the MV Francis Barkley, and this trip takes us from Port Alberni along the Alberni Inlet to Bamfield. And then the second one will be on the MV Uchuk, and that cruise takes us from Gold River through Nootka Sound to Friendly Cove. Here's just a couple pictures of the gorgeous Alberni Inlet and the lovely, quaint Friendly Cove. Okay, next up into September, we have Fraser River from source to mouth. So this tour will follow the Fraser River from its source near Mount Robson, and then we will follow it all the way into the mouth of the Strait of Georgia in Vancouver. It does include a scenic helicopter ride to the source of the river. So we will land in the helicopter in the Alpine Meadows, and then you have about 45 minutes to stroll the area. And we do have some bragging rights with this tour. Less than 200 people have been to the source of the Fraser River, and almost all those 200 people, if they have done it with Wells Gray Tours. So we're sort of pioneers taking people there. Pretty exciting. And then also on this trip, we have 3 boat trips included on the Mighty Fraser. We do a float trip near Mount Robson. We will do a safari cruise in the Mission and a river safari boat. And then we will spend our last cruise on the MV Paddle Wheeler. And you can see here in the photo, this was Roland a few years ago. He collected water from the source and brought it all the way with him for the tour and is now sending it off at its final journey into the ocean. Okay, next up we have Sunshine Coast. This is an interior or lower mainland departure in September. The Sunshine Coast is a 180-kilometer stretch of paradise tucked into the southwest mainland of BC. Many are familiar with the Sunshine Coast through its popularity gained on the TV series The Beachcombers. I'm sure many of you remember watching The Beachcombers, which aired on CBC, which was filmed on location in Gibsons. And we will do a tour in Gibsons and see where The Beachcombers was filmed. And then there are lots of other highlights. We do 3 cruises to get out on the water. We go through Agamemnon Sound, through the Channel, through Princess Louisa Fjord, and also into Desolation Sound. Okay, and now this is calling all Vancouver Island clients. So this is a tour just for you in September. It's Telegraph Cove and the Zeballos Cruise. Brand new tour, off to explore the inspiring east and west coasts on Vancouver Island. We will spend 2 nights at Telegraph Cove Resort and 1 night in Gold River. So there's 2 boat trips included. We would take a boat trip right out of Telegraph Cove, which is the picture here, and we do a whale watching trip for the day. And then we also have a 5-hour cruise chartered by the MV Uchuk, which will take us from Zeballos to Gold River. So scenic waterways the whole way, a gorgeous trip. We have visits in the Strathcona Provincial Park. We stop and see Lady Falls and even stroll around Buttle Lake. Okay, moving into the fall, into October, we have Tyaks Lodge. Beautiful fall foliage tour in the South Chilcotin. We'll escape to Tyaks Lodge for 3 nights. There is a free day to relax and enjoy the beautiful lakeside setting. There's numerous entertaining recreational activities you can take part in. We have hired a local historian to take us to the Braylorn gold mine, so that's included. And there is also an option to do a float plane flight over the nearby glaciers. And then we're off into Thanksgiving. It's hard to think that far ahead. I know it's almost Easter coming up, but if you are starting to think about Thanksgiving, for our Vancouver Island clients, we have Thanksgiving at Saqualutin Lodge. Really nice Thanksgiving weekend. We spend 1 night at Painter's Lodge, which is the picture on the left, and then we have 2 nights at Quadra Island, on Quadra Island at Saqualutin Lodge. Wonderful places to celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving. Excuse me, I just need a drink of water. There is some leisure time to enjoy the hotels. There's beautiful walks to a lighthouse. You can soak in the hot tub, and traditional Thanksgiving turkey dinner is served. Excuse me. Then for our interior clients, we have pretty much almost exactly the same tour for Thanksgiving. We have 1 night at Painter's Lodge, 2 nights at Saqualutin, and 1 additional night at the oceanfront property, which is the Beach Club in Parksville. And then our final tour in BC for this year of 2021 is storm watching at Wickenish Inn. An amazing property. We love taking our clients here. Always come back with rave reviews. It is a 5-star experience. Gorgeous hotel perched between the ancient rainforest and the ocean. So you will be pampered in luxury and have endless opportunities to really connect with nature and truly unwind. So a really nice, relaxing getaway. And we do include visits to Long Beach, Tofino, and Ucluelet. And now we're going to move on to Canada. And I have a quick video to show you to get us all inspired about a couple of Canadian trips we're excited about.
Life is busy. There's been a lot that I've gone through personally over the last year. Life is busy. There's been a lot that I've gone through personally over the last year. Going north has always been something that's felt like a thing that I really want to do. Feeling nervous about getting out here and seeing what I can see. I mean, Churchill's known for the polar bears. Probably the only place in the world that you can get to relatively easily and have a reasonable chance of seeing polar bears. You're not quite sure what's over the edge, and yeah, it's touching a part of the planet that I've never had a chance to do before.
For me, this is my world. There's lots of history up here, hundreds or thousands of years old. You know, you can step back into time.
Human story goes back nearly 4,000 years to the earliest indigenous peoples to live in this area.
I had no idea Churchill existed until a couple years ago, and for me, the moment that we dropped the hydrophone and I heard the whales for the first time, it was so beautiful.
I came north seeking something different, seeking something I never experienced before, and there's all these little surprises to look for if you scratch below the surface. It has a strange effect on me.
The first sightings of polar bear for most people is, wow. Bears humble people, and we need to be humbled every now and then.
It's given me a very different perspective on life, to live in the moment much more, to not worry about the stresses and the strains that go on around you, and to seize opportunities like this. This place makes you appreciate that there's so many bigger things at force in this world. I thought this was the polar bear place, but there's so much more to see here.
Okay, so we're very excited. We have 2 tours heading up to Churchill. We'll talk about those in just a moment. But we're just so lucky to live in such a fabulous country. So our first tour up in Canada is Surprising Saskatchewan in June. Trust me, you will never think of Saskatchewan the same way ever again. There are so many highlights on this tour. We will go to Regina, Moose Jaw, Saskatoon, and Prince Albert. We're going to tour the RCMP Heritage Center. We have a dinner cruise on the South Saskatchewan River. We're going to ride the Wheatland Express train. and even soak away all our worries in the Manitou hot springs. So lots and lots of highlights. Next up is Road to the Arctic. So this will be in July. This is an epic journey all the way to the Arctic Ocean. It has only been possible since the road to Tuktoyaktuk opened in late 2017. So really not very long ago. We will be flying up to Yellowknife. So we start our tour there. There are so many fabulous sights along the way as we make our way through the Northwest Territories and up the Yukon, all the way up into Inuvik. And then we actually will be flying home with a stop over in Whitehorse for a night and then back to Vancouver. One of the huge highlights will be a scenic flight to Nahanni National Park. And we will be landing the planes right near the falls. Don't worry, we'll land them safely. But right near Virginia Falls, and you'll have an hour and a half to visit the awesome viewpoints in the national park. We're also going to visit Liard Hot Springs, even try our luck at gold planning in Dawson City. And then we have a fabulous day planned in Tuktoyaktuk. We're going to enjoy a traditional lunch in an Inuit home with a family and learn all about their culture and their fashion. And they're going to even do a fashion show and lifestyle show for us. Okay, so next is Churchill beluga whales. So they talked a little bit about this in the video. It really is one of the most wonderful natural phenomena. It's the annual migration of the beluga whales into the warm and shallow waters of the Churchill River. They come there to give birth and feed on the fish. They are known as the canaries of the sea, and they are friendly and inquisitive, and I know their hearts, they'll capture your hearts with their beautiful whale songs. They're not shy, and we have a couple opportunities to spend some time with them. We do 2 boat excursions, so you can get really up close with the belugas. And so I think that's going to be just amazing. We did have to revamp this tour a little bit recently. We were hoping to take the train. We will fly you to Winnipeg, and then we were going to take the train from Winnipeg to Churchill. Unfortunately, the sleeper cabin may not be running, so we are just going to be flying you, which is nice, from Winnipeg right to Churchill. So just a minor adjustment there. But the tour itself is going to just be amazing. We have a guided tour around Churchill. We're going to go out on the tundra buggies and even have a dog carting excursion. Okay, next up we have Cowboy Trail and Waterton Lakes. So this is in September. Off to Alberta, and I'm going to go back a slide here to enjoy the fall foliage. There's many highlights in southern Alberta. One of them is visiting Waterton Lakes National Park, and that's the picture you see here in the photo. We do have a 2-hour boat cruise on the stunning lake. It's just gorgeous. And then there's lots of history. We visit lots of historical sites. 2 highlights being the Bayou Ranch and also Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump. Next up in September, we have the Alberta Prairie Steam Train. This is an interior only new tour. We often go to southern Alberta, but it has been since 2013 that we explored the central region. So this tour is highlighted by the train. It's a 5-hour excursion that runs between Settler and Big Valley. Some of the other highlights on the tour will be spending some time at the Rocky Mountain House National Historic Site. And we have a full day at the Heritage Park in Calgary, which includes the Gasoline Alley Museum, and even a very fun night of dinner theater in Calgary. Okay, next up we have our Jasper Park Fall Getaway. So this is available for all departures. It's an awesome fall getaway to the Canadian Rockies. We stay 4 nights at the fabulous Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge. Exceptional meals, there's entertainment, and all of the activities are included while you're there. So craft making, lectures, walking tours, just makes for a very fun-filled fall getaway. And then this is the other tour to Churchill. So off to see the Churchill polar bears. Taking just 15 people, so it is starting to fill up very quickly. We'll spend 3 nights in Churchill. There's 2 expeditions out on the tundra buggies to see the polar bears. And October and November are prime viewing weeks for polar bear sightings. And the buggy moves very safely across the snow and ice. It's very comfortable. It's heated. The windows slide open. You can go out on the back of the buggy to get unobstructed views of the bears. And they are very curious. They'll come right up to the buggy. But don't worry, as you can see in the photo, it's quite safe. You're very high up. It's very safe. This photo was taken on one of our tours a couple years ago. And then we will also have a guided tour of Churchill and even go dog sledding. And then our final tour for 2021 is the Yukon's Northern Lights. So this will be in November. We have 4 nighttime sessions to view the Northern Lights with a local guide. And it can be very cold, yes, in the Yukon in November, so you definitely need to dress very warm and bundle up, but there is a heated cabin, lots of snacks, hot chocolate served, there's a fire to warm up, so it's just a wonderful winter experience, and also dog sledding up in the Yukon. And then we just have one more tour. This is hot off the press. This is actually for 2022. So this is coast to coast. Unfortunately, we could not run it this year in 2021, so we've postponed it to 2022. So it will be in May, all across Canada. So we are riding via rail, starting in Vancouver, making our way all across Canada. We have 3 nights in Winnipeg, 3 nights in Toronto, 2 nights in Montreal, and finishing with 3 nights in Halifax, and then we will fly you home. So just an amazing way to see all of Canada. Okay, so we're going to move on into the US. Of course, we have not been able to travel to the US with the borders being closed, so we have not planned very many tours, but we have hopes that the borders will open soon with the vaccines rolling out, and so we have planned a couple tours coming up. The first one being the San Juan Islands cruise in September. 3 days sailing around the San Juan Islands, lots of wildlife viewing. We spend 2 nights at Friday Harbor. It's just a fabulous trip. There's wine tasting involved, lots of scenic cruising, even a crab lunch. So this is the boat. It's the Salish Express. So we have 2.5 days just devoted to cruising around the gorgeous San Juan Islands. Lots of whale watching. Next up in October, we have Oktoberfest in Leavenworth. We were very lucky to get rooms. It was a very busy holiday in Leavenworth, the Bavarian Village. So we're staying 3 nights at the Enzian Inn, which is a gorgeous property right downtown. Excellent location. And then we have admission to the Oktoberfest grounds. There's plenty of entertainment. So this is just going to be a lot of fun. And then if you are a theater buff and you love going to the show, and this tour is for you, off to Branson. People often wonder how we can sell Branson year after year, but they have hundreds of shows that rotate. And there's 40 shows happening, and we're going to see 13 of them in October. So 13, all different kinds of shows included. And next up, we have our New Orleans tour. So this is New Orleans and Cajun Country in October. We spend time touring around the French Quarter. We even take we go to the cooking school, so we will participate making a dinner. And we spend time at Mardi Gras World. Just so much life and culture and soul in this area. And then we'll make our way into Louisiana, into Cajun Country. We'll tour the Oak Alley Plantation. And we even go out and do a pontoon boat trip out onto the swamp. And you really will see big gators, just like this one. So pretty exciting. Okay, now we're going to jump into our international destinations. A couple tours we've had to postpone, of course, so we're so excited to have things rolling out and be able to travel a bit further soon. So we do have our tour to Scotland this August. It is halfway full, but they have actually pretty much vaccinated their whole country already. They're quite a bit ahead of Canada, so it's very reassuring. They are ready to open up and welcome us. An amazing tour, flying in and out of Glasgow and making our way all the way around the Horn. One of the highlights, of course, will be the Edinburgh Tattoo. This is an annual performance, so we will make sure we are there, and we have tickets to see that. Another highlight is the Orkney Islands, so off to see the Standing Stones. Lots of famous castles. This castle, the Dunrobin Castle, has 150 rooms, so we will tour that. Can you imagine living in a castle with 150 rooms? It's amazing. And of course, you can't go all the way to Scotland without drinking scotch. So we are going to go and tour some distilleries. There are whiskey samplings, so we visit a couple while we are there. Next up, we have a taste of Italy. Oh, just looking at this, wine and Parmesan and garlic and olives. So, we went back a slide. So this will be in October. This was postponed from 2021, so we're excited to be offering it now, 2020 and 2021. It's a wonderful mix of sightseeing and unbelievable food and wine tastings. We fly into Milan and have 2 nights, spend 2 nights in Venice, make our way all the way down the peninsula, 4 nights in Florence. We'll go off to Siena, Assisi. We have 3 nights in Rome, and then finishing with 2 nights in Naples and flying home. We are staying in Venice. Very expensive, but it's such a highlight. We can't go all the way there and not stay there, so you do overnight in Venice. We'll tour the Vatican and also the Sistine Chapel, and have time to tour the Leaning Tower of Pisa. We have time in Tuscany to see, of course, the scenic landscapes, the castles, the vineyards, just the gorgeous area of Tuscany. The village of Pompeii, we tour there, and then also the Colosseum. And then next up, we have this in October, is Mexico's Copper Canyon. I don't know if many people know this. I just learned this doing some research for this presentation, that the Copper Canyon is a whopping 4 times larger than the Grand Canyon, if you can believe that. So it is just a sight to see. And we will be taking the train through the canyon, which is just going to be amazing. We are going to fly in and out of Mazatlan in Mexico. We make our way up. We board the train in Los Mochis and ride it all the way up into Creel. And then when we come back, we also have a night in Mazatlan. One of the highlights is we do stay overnight in Desavidero, which there is a hotel right on the Copper Canyon cliffs, as you can see in the picture. So we stayed there and then ride the train through the Copper Canyon and then finish relaxing right on the beach in Mazatlan. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over. Roland Neve is also with us this morning, and he is going to share a little bit more information about some of our other upcoming international destinations. So I'll pass it over to Roland, and he is going to speak starting with Costa Rica.
Next January, we'll be going to Costa Rica, a nice winter getaway for Canadians. And we have a flight into San Jose and home from Liberia, with quite a bit of touring around Costa Rica to some of the great places to go. On the left, the Arenal volcano, the Tortuguero River. We take the boat for 2 hours down the river to the east coast and stay at a resort there. And then, would you actually participate in a mud bath? I hope so, because this group was sure having fun. Iceland. When people ask me what's my favorite country in the world, other than Canada, Iceland. That's my answer, because it's an amazing natural place to go to visit sites. We travel all the way around Iceland on the Ring Road. The Blue Lagoon. After we get off the flight from Vancouver, we go straight to the Blue Lagoon to soak off the stresses of the 6.5-hour flight. And we stay several hours at the Blue Lagoon. Typical sights of Iceland: waterfalls, volcanoes, and glaciers. Not in this picture. Oh, but it's a great natural place to go and see. There's the glacier coming right down to the ocean, the Jökulsárlón Glacial Lagoon, and we go out on this boat in amongst the icebergs. We go whale watching at Husavik. Skogafoss, the Stroker Geyser. And next we go to Ireland. That's in going to be next June, or June 2022. Here's the Cliffs of Moher. And we fly in and out of Dublin and then travel clockwise around Ireland. So traveling to the south coast and then up the west and into Northern Ireland and Belfast. Kissing the Blarney Stone. Not everybody wants to do this. It's rather precarious, and you actually get held so that you won't accidentally fall off, but you have to turn yourself upside down and then kiss the Blarney Stone. It's not very sanitary, actually, but many people want to do that. And we actually stay at a castle, the middle picture, and when we're in Northern Ireland, we go to the Giant's Causeway. Take a cart ride, and then a distillery. We're planning a tour to Australia, And that will be coming in 2022. New Zealand, also coming soon, postponed twice now from 2020 to 21, and now we have dates for March of 2022. And that's flying in and out of Auckland, but covering both the North and South Islands. So there's a lot of variety on that. Turkey and Greece, also postponed because of COVID, and that will be going in March 2022. There we fly into Istanbul and then work our way down through Turkey, through the famous ruins of antiquity like Troy and Ephesus. And then we have a 3-night cruise in the Aegean to several islands. And then a week in Greece, flying home from Athens. Japan, and that is going at the end of March in 2022. And that one will be flying into Tokyo and then home from Osaka, with many wonderful experiences in Japan, including a ride on the bullet train, where you go faster than anybody can imagine on ground. So another great tour. Those tours have been postponed because of COVID, so they're just about full with all the people who stayed on for next international tours, because they are postponed ones. And our last tour I want to mention is going to Bhutan and Thailand. We run this tour about every 4 years. Bhutan is still very much off the radar for many international travelers, and it takes some effort to arrange a tour there because it is not simply open borders like most countries are. But it is an amazing tour to do. It is a level 3 activity because there is a lot of walking and to get up to some of the temples that are perched on the tops. So we have lots of other tours that are in the works for 2022. Be sure to let us know if you have a destination that interests you, and we'll look into whether we can plan that. But as COVID starts to release its awful grip on the world, then there are so many wonderful travel opportunities that are coming up, and we're sure looking forward to being able to welcome you back on our tours in the near future. So over to Fraser now, who's going to talk about some cruises.
Yes, I'll be taking us through a few of our upcoming cruises, as well as some theater stuff, and then a couple of special events. And I'd just like to start off with a quote. It's actually probably one of my favorite quotes, and it just has to do with cruising a little bit, and you'll probably recognize it. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things that you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Interestingly enough, I think a lot of people believe that Mark Twain said that, but that it was H. Jackson Brown. I think it was his mother, apparently. We'll have to do a Google search afterwards. But anyways, it is a very good quote, and really encourages you to get out and travel and get on the waters. St. Lawrence River Cruise. So back in 2016, I attended a conference called Rendezvous Canada, which is the largest trade show in Canada. And I met with a company called St. Lawrence Cruise Lines and learned a little bit about what they offer, and thought that it would be a perfect fit for our clients. And they invited us to come along and go on a familiarization trip and check them out. So mom and dad went a few months later and joined them for a cruise and absolutely loved it. and we've been able to organize a few groups now on this ship, and it's turned into one of our most popular tours. So in September of this year, we'll be doing a 10-day tour that includes a 5-day cruise from Kingston to Ottawa on the Canadian Empress. We'll have one night in Kingston, and then before getting on the ship, and then the ship actually makes a few to Ottawa. So we'll stop in Montreal for a full day, along with Upper Canada Village and Ivy Lee. And there are quite a few locks that we will go through on this cruise. There was a quote from the New York Times. They were able to go on this ship, and they quoted in the New York Times as saying that when the time comes for sleep, sleep comes easily on a ship surrounded by 1,000 islands and 1,000,000 stars. And I think that just goes to show what an incredible trip the St. Lawrence River Cruise is. Okay, our Antarctica, Argentina, and Chile cruise. This is an absolute adventure, and the only one that is eligible to finish off our 7 Continents Award, which would be for clients that have traveled to all 7 continents with Wells Gray Tours. So it is a full month tour and includes a 22-day cruise on Holland America's Westerdam from Buenos Aires around to Santiago in Chile. Before we get on the Westerdam, we actually fly up to Iguazu Falls and stay one night in this incredible destination. It has been deemed a 7 new wonder of the world, and it's actually higher than Niagara Falls, and depending on how you measure the span, quite a bit wider than Niagara Falls as well. So when you're going to Buenos Aires, it's just a short flight up to Iguazu Falls, and it's something that is definitely a must do. Back in Buenos Aires, we make a visit to, of course, translates to Pink House, and this is the home of the Argentina government. Once we get on the Westerdam, we make a stop in Montevideo in Uruguay, and then we continue south and end up in the Falkland and see the colorful houses of Stanley, the town that we call on. And on the right here are the incredible king penguins that many associate with the Falkland Islands. The highlight of this trip is described in these 2 slides that you can see here. So we'll have 4 full days of cruising in Antarctica, and this is just absolutely amazing to be able to explore this area. So the route of the cruise really depends on what the weather is like, but they do have pilots that come aboard to pick the best route. But imagine waking up and going out on your balcony and being able to see these icebergs around and just the incredible landmass of Antarctica. We'll also be able to make our way through Iceberg Alley. So there's lots of experts that come on board as well during this time to do lots of interpretation. And the other highlight, of course, is the rounding of Cape Horn. So Cape Horn is actually part of the Wollaston Islands, so it's not on the mainland. But of course, many associate Cape Horn with the challenging waters that date back, a long time to explorers from many, many years ago. After Cape Horn, we do call in Ushuaia, which is the southernmost city in the world. Well, looking at this photo here, I think many of us would love to see palm trees again and sunset over the ocean. And a perfect tour for that is our Hawaii cruise, which will be in January of 2022. So we will have a 7-day cruise on the Pride of America. We will fly into Honolulu and stay 3 nights on Waikiki Beach before getting on the ship. And then we will visit the islands of Maui, Hawaii, the Big Island, and Kauai. Here are some of the highlights on this tour. So you can see the Pride of America on the left here. On the right, Waimea Canyon, which is considered to be the Grand Canyon of the Pacific on the island of Kauai. In Honolulu, we will visit Pearl Harbor and the USS Arizona Memorial, which is a must-do when you're in Honolulu. Haleakala Crater. We will do a bus ride up to the top of the crater, 1,000 meters, and there's 37 switchbacks that the road takes to get up there. This is a very exciting coming soon cruise tour for you. So this is Dubai and the Suez Canal Cruise. We're really, really excited about this, and if this piques your interest at all, I would highly recommend you call your local office and get on the interested list as soon as possible. We will be flying into Dubai. We'll spend 3 nights there before getting on the Norwegian Jade. And it's an 18-day cruise all the way from Dubai through the Suez Canal and then finishing in Athens. We are including shore excursions in all of the ports of call. And a couple of those highlights will be in Jordan, where we will take a day trip up to Petra. And over in Egypt, we will take an overnight trip actually from the ship over to Luxor on the Nile River. We'll stay in a hotel there and do a bit of sightseeing and then make our way back to the ship. It does take 2 days to get through the Suez, our way up into Israel and the island of Cyprus, where we have also organized a shore excursion for you. Yes, our President's Cruise. So this is the annual trip that Roland hosts, and it will be on a river cruise. We have shifted it over to 2022, so the new date is April 27th. It is coming soon, so it's not quite ready for you yet, and there's likely will only be a few seats available, so definitely contact your office to get on that interested list if you're not already on the tour. So this one will fly into Bucharest in Romania. Have a few days of touring there, going up to the Transylvania area, and then making our way down to the Danube, where we will board Avalon's Passion. And then it's a beautiful cruise, actually down to the Black Sea first, and then we turn around and make our way back upriver to Budapest. So it's really an incredible tour. So we'll make our way through Bulgaria, Serbia. We do make one stop in Croatia, and then through Hungary to Budapest. After the cruise is over, we'll do a few nights of post-touring. We'll actually travel through Slovakia, spend 3 nights in that country before flying out of Vienna in Austria. So lots of different countries on this tour. River cruising is absolutely amazing. If you have not done it yet, highly recommend. And definitely look at getting the French balcony style cabins so that you can slide open your balcony door in the morning and take a look outside to see what is outside your window. And oftentimes there's just beautiful scenery all the time. Another coming soon tour. So still putting the finishing touches on this one. So this will be on board an Oceania vessel, the Regatta, highly rated when we last did a tour with Oceania. Tahiti and Hawaii cruise. So we will fly to Tahiti, which is in French Polynesia in the middle of the Pacific. And we'll have 3 nights in Tahiti before boarding the Regatta. And then we'll make 3 ports of call in French Polynesia, move over to Hawaii, where we'll have a few ports of call again, and then crossing the Pacific and finishing in Los Angeles. So a really fantastic spring tour that's in April of 2022. So definitely plan now and look forward to traveling on that tour later. Ottawa Tulip Festival and another trip on the St. Lawrence Cruise Lines, the Canadian Empress. So we will spend a few nights in Ottawa and enjoy the wonderful Tulip Festival before getting on the Canadian Empress and cruising down to Kingston. So stay tuned for this one to come soon. It will be in May of 2022. Another trip on an Oceania vessel. This one will be from Montreal to New York City. It's in 2, so we expect there to be some pretty fantastic fall foliage. And moving on to some theater tours and special events. So Roland mentioned the Oktoberfest in Leavenworth, which is, we do have Leavenworth Summer Theater planned for August. And like Roland said, if you haven't been to Leavenworth, you really need to go down and explore, because you'll return time and time again to this incredible place. So there will be a few shows that we include as part of the Summer Festival. Sound of Music, which is their staple show that they do each year. And then they add in a mix of shows to fill out the other 2. So this year they will have The Secret Garden and The Music Man. Celine Dion in Vancouver. So she has moved her performances from 2020 to these dates in August of 2021. And we were able to secure tickets, and we're looking forward to having her come to Vancouver. If you haven't seen her before, you definitely want to see the show before. She's no longer touring. And our mystery tour. So Roland will be hosting this tour. It is departing on September 5th of this year, 10 days long. It is an itinerary that we have not offered before, so it has lots of new things included in it. And I need to zip my mouth, otherwise I'm gonna give some stuff away, but I will give you a few of the clues that we have on our brochure. So these clues, you can try to solve them to try to figure out what parts of the tour we're visiting. So here's the first one. This haven from the sea is found between a grindstone and a grandiose entrance. A general clues that we'll offer on this one is that a passport is not required. So you can gather by that we will be staying within Canada. And here is another clue for you. These are on our website on the brochure, so I don't expect you to know the answer right off the bat, but do go and load our brochure and take some time to try to solve these riddles. A gathering of 3 in the 1860s resulted in $1 billion meeting between North and South 130 years later. Yes, intriguing, isn't it? Okay, moving along to the Shen Yun Performance, which is in Vancouver. They have shifted dates to March of 2022. And this is wildly popular. They've done an incredible marketing campaign in Canada to gain interest in it. And we have seen so many clients booking on these tours as they were here a few years ago as well. So this is generally classical Chinese dance. And then they include elaborate costumes, as you can see in this picture here, and then they accompany it all with a full orchestra. Hamilton really took the world by storm in 2016 when it came on Broadway. They had 16 Tony nominations, and they didn't win all of them, but that was a record for number of nominations. Rightfully so. It's an amazing story, great costumes, and they do some different songs. There is included some rapping, which is quite neat. So these tours are filling fast, so don't delay in booking up if you're interested. Just note that these are in 2022, so not this year. And the year after Hamilton came out, Come From Away was quickly following them up by taking the world by storm, especially here in Canada. We were able to organize 4 tours to Seattle a couple of years ago to see Come From Away, and of course the reviews came back absolutely astounding. So we're looking forward to having Come From Away come to Vancouver. The dates are well into the future, August of 2022, and we are certain to fill all these dates up. So really call your local office and book if you're wanting to see this show. And our Oberammergau Passion Play. So this is the play that only happens every 10 years in the south of Germany. It was planned for 2020 and has been postponed to 2022. It really is an incredible tour that we've put together. So we'll show you on the map here. So we fly in and out of Frankfurt and then do a full 3 weeks of touring through Liechtenstein, even going through Italy briefly and stopping for lunch, and then spending quite a few nights in Austria as well. A few of the highlights on our tour: Heidelberg Castle, which dates actually way back to the year 1214. Parts of it are in ruins now, but we still are able to tour it, and we actually take a tramway up to the castle. On the right, St. Moritz in southern Switzerland, and we spend 1 night here on the lake with incredible views of the mountains. Großglockner, that's the name of this mountain that you see here in Austria, and we cross this pass by road, actually at the height of 2,500 meters. So the mountain is obviously much higher than that, but it is quite a high road, spectacular. Eagle's Nest. So this was actually built as a tea house, and then rumor has it that it was given by the Nazi Party to Hitler for his 50th birthday, but that's still debated, I think. It turns out that Hitler didn't actually like Eagle's Nest because of his fear of heights, interestingly enough. So we do spend quite a bit of time here and have a very extensive tour of this place that's perched on top of a rock. Neuschwanstein Castle, one of the most picturesque castles in the world, and one of the main tourist attractions in Germany. So we do have a tour through the castle here, and then we follow up Neuschwanstein with a brief cruise on the Rhine River. So this kind of finishes off our full 3 weeks of touring. But we take this river cruise through some of the most picturesque areas of the Rhine River. So we have castles on the hills, beautiful, quaint towns right on the river. So it's going to be spectacular. Okay, and just finally, a few more coming soon items. Leavenworth Lighting. So we'll have a departure from the interior, and then we will have another one from Vancouver Island. So those will be 4-day tours, spending all 3 nights at the Enzian Inn. And then, of course, we will have our Christmas tours coming soon. Apologies for my dog, who's upstairs, probably barking at the mailman, if you can hear her. So we will have our Christmas tours coming out in the next couple of months. And I will send it back to Carrie.
Okay, here I am. So hope you enjoyed learning about all those tours. Thanks for sticking with us. We are going to do the draw. So I'm going to do a drum roll. I don't know. Hopefully you can see the screen. We've got all your names in a computer-generated random draw, and as we speak, it is off on the wheel. So we are going to spin. Here we go. Ooh, this is so exciting. Okay, our first winner, so it's a $50 travel voucher, went to Ray. So R-A-Y, Ray, you are our $50 travel voucher winner. Okay, next up, we're going to spin the wheel again. Here we go. And for $100 travel voucher is Margaret's iPad. So hopefully there's only one of you out there called Margaret's iPad. You are our winner. So make sure you contact us after the show. And one more for the $200. Here we go. Yay! So that is Ellen Campbell. So Ellen, you have won a $200 travel voucher. So make sure you contact the office and we'll make sure we get those sent off to you. Okay, so on behalf of Wells Gray Tours, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We, of course, look forward to a very bright future with all of you. We miss you all so much and appreciate you standing by us all these days and staying hopeful. And we just can't wait to see you again. And we wish you all safe and happy travels.
Thanks, Mary. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
So thank you. Take care. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Thanks for joining us.